2 full days of campaigning left, believe it or not. Today we saw Bill Shorten try to return the focus to what he originally said he wanted this election to be about, a referendum on wages. Well, over the last 4.5 weeks, we've seen this election and the focus, the sort of agenda we should be focusing on, shift back and forth. It's been about climate change, it's been about the cost of climate change, it's been about the cost of living, housing prices. But today, as I say, wages was Bill Shorten's focus. And today we saw these official wage growth figures released from the Bureau of Statistics. They come out every 3 months. This, for the March quarter, shows growth of 0.5%. Still fairly sluggish. The private sector 0.5% for the first time, well, not the first time, but the first time in a long while, just edging out the public sector wage growth. What does that mean annually? Well, wage growth is running at 2.3% for the year to the end of March. Bear in mind, the budget just weeks ago forecast annual wages growth of 2.5% for the year to the end of June, the current financial year. So, boy, things would have to really accelerate in the current quarter that we're in for that to happen. Most likely it won't. These figures today do underline that this is still a problem. Wage growth remains sluggish. It is still ahead of inflation. That's the only bright spot here because inflation's barely moving at all. But this underlines the point that Labor's long been making. More needs to be done to boost wages. We'll get to what Labor intends to do in a moment. But drilling into today's figures, where is this wage growth happening and where isn't it happening? Here are some of the sectors where we are seeing some positive news. Transport, some public sectors like education, healthcare, also the mining industry. That's where we're seeing wages growth. Where aren't we seeing wages growth? These are the sectors where things have been particularly sluggish. Manufacturing, retail, hospitality's on that list as well. Construction too, with the housing boom coming off and house prices falling. We're seeing that reflected in construction jobs and construction wages as well. So not surprisingly, Bill Shorten leapt on these figures today. Chris Bowen as well to say these are very disappointing. The opposition leader also promising today a new measure to try and deal with wages growth, and that is a new small claims tribunal that would deal with claims up to $100,000 for those who feel they've been ripped off by their employer. More from Annalise Nielsen.
Cementing his status in Western Australia, Bill Shorten and wife Chloe's bricklaying competition, one of the friendlier rivalries of the campaign.
A surprise winner.
The opposition leader was confident he's laid the foundations for strong support in Western Australia over the last 6 years.
Hello everyone, it's great to be here on my 83rd day in Western Australia since I've been opposition leader.
The big pitch to the young apprentices was boosting wages. On the same day, the Bureau of Statistics revealed wage growth is still stuck at an historically low level. Annual wages growing just 2.3% in seasonally adjusted terms for the third quarter in a row.
Well, we're absolutely focused on driving people's wages up, and today's numbers of 2.3% shows that our economic plan is working.
We're the only game in town on a wages policy. You could send out search parties from here to Christmas. You're not going to find the Liberals' wages policy.
At a business breakfast earlier in the day, Mr Shorten revealed another promise to protect wages, a small claims tribunal for wage theft that would sit alongside the Fair Work Commission, as well as plans to host a summit between unions and businesses in Perth.
My whole adult life's about bringing people into the same room. But we'll do this in Perth. So I intend to convene my first business, economic, employee relations gathering. We want to do it by early June.
Echoing Bob Hawke's accord as the Labor Party elder penned his support for Mr Shorten, urging voters to view his union background as an asset, even if it's something John Howard's previously taken aim at.
Now, I understand that they've sort of disinterred Howard to come out and do another scare campaign on Labor. You know, he's a very famous man. Poor old Tony Abbott doing his Churchillian defence in Warringah.
WA was absolutely the focus of the day, with Bill Shorten taking his campaign to the Liberal-held seat of Pearce, held by senior Liberal figure Attorney General Kristen Porter.
This is the only set of policies for Western Australia. The Liberals haven't bothered printing one.
The campaign now heads to Sydney ahead of a major speech. Bill Shorten set to take the stage at the same venue where Gough Whitlam delivered his It's Time speech.
Will you believe with me that a new government, a new program, a new team is desperately needed to provide that change?
Annalise Nielsen, Sky News in Perth.